President Trump's tariffs, and tonight the U.S. and China sending conflicting messages over President Trump's tariffs, upending global markets and the U.S. economy. After President Trump insisted the two sides were actively discussing tariffs, China calling it fake news, a Chinese official saying there have been no talks. Rachel Scott is at the White House.
Get along very well.
Tonight, China pushing back hard on a claim President Trump has been making for days, that negotiations to end the trade war are well underway.
Are you talking to them actively now?
Actively. Everything's active.
But tonight, China calling that, quote, fake news. A top Chinese official saying, quote, as far as I know, China and the United States have not held consultations or negotiations on the tariff issue, let alone reached an agreement. Today, reporters pressing the president.
Can you clarify with whom the U.S. is speaking with China? They're saying it's fake news that trade talks are happening.
Well, they had a meeting this morning, so I can't tell you. It doesn't matter who they is. We may reveal it later, but they had meetings this morning.
He never did reveal that information.
What Trump is doing and trying to do is something he's done in his political career and his business career for over 40, 50 years. He says it and he expects it to happen. So when he says that they're negotiating with China and China comes out and says that they're not, who do you believe? Do you believe as an American, I gotta say, China's full of shit? Or maybe they're trying to play a subtle, tactical negotiation tactic by saying, hey, we're not negotiating, all the while that they're negotiating. At the same time, we got a president that lies every time he breathes. So I feel unpatriotic by not believing that he's saying that they're negotiating, but at the same time, I know who I'm dealing with. What Trump is doing is saying they're negotiating, and he's making his negotiation team reach out to underlings. So in that regard, yeah, they may be negotiating, but China doesn't recognize whomever they're talking to. So China is like, we're not negotiating. Now, China's trade representatives may not know who Trump is talking to or who's Trump underlings of the underlings of the underlings are talking to. They may not know. And then again, they may. But who do you believe? In this regard, you got to say China may have the upper hand here because Trump always lies. So you can't believe everything Trump says. China lies too, but you can't believe Trump. And here is how I know you cannot believe Trump. When that reporter asked him this,
Are you talking to them actively now?
Actively. Everything's active.
that sounded like a lie because the key word was actively, so he repeated it. And then he repeated it again and said that everything is active. He's not talking to him actively. And he may have got his trade people afraid to tell him the truth. So, of course, he's going to say everything is active. Also, I don't think he was prepared for that question, which is why he repeated it so his mind can catch up. And then he repeated the word twice. And again, I think something very strange is going on with Trump right now, because for a long time, people have been afraid to follow up, especially going to China. And China is being so bold with it, and they feel they got the upper hand in this. They're using his words. They're saying it's fake news.
As far as I know, China and the United States have not held consultations or negotiations on the tariff issue, let alone reached an agreement.
Go back and watch that one clip without sound and just look at the seriousness on that guy's face. Yeah, everybody got the stereotype about Asian people with their slant eyes and low eyes or whatever. But that man in that video making that statement don't look like he's playing. These people are not joking around. Just my opinion. And so then reporters go back and say, well, China say this. What are you talking about? And listen to his answer.
Can you clarify with whom the U.S. is speaking with China? They're saying it's fake news that trade talks are happening.
Well, they had a meeting this morning, so I can't tell you. It doesn't matter who they is. We may reveal it later, but they had meetings this morning.
Now I know as president, there's some things you can't tell the press. So I get it. These are really tough negotiations, and this is very tricky, eggshell type situation, so I understand. But at the same time, he just got called out. Somebody followed up on his previous answer, and China has said there's no negotiations. So if there are indeed no negotiations, who are you talking to? Who is they? I'm not going to tell you who they are. So who do you believe? Again, people, Trump has put his foot in a hole that he can't get it out of. What he has is an American arrogance. And he assumes that, along with the stereotype, he assumes that America is bigger, badder, bolder. We just got a larger military. There's a lot of other things that play into factors into who are the bigger and badder and bolder countries. Trump just put our military on the table, but China has put their trade and money on the table. You can have the largest military, but if the world is against you, does your military matter? At the same time, when they put their money on the table, you can't fight that because that's money, and people can just stop dealing with you monetarily. Am I wrong here? What do you think?